Alright. I always say that. I guess that's my thing. Maybe I'll just make an intro for my videos that is just a big, colorful, alright. It'll come in and you just see this big thing saying, alright. And then I'll do a voiceover of me saying, alright. And then it'll cut to me and I'll be like, alright. Anyhow. Good morning. It is Sunday morning, December 7th. It's kind of early. Everybody's just kind of getting up around here. At my house anyways, I'm sure people are up all over the city. It's not super early. Been awake for a long time, kind of hanging out in bed. Still in pajamas. You can probably see. Been sitting in bed kind of editing Friday's video, my birthday video, and just got it uploaded and whatnot. And figured now that I'm caught up on everything that I had already recorded that I could show you my birthday present. So let's do that. And walk out here. So there's the truck. It's a 04.5 Silverado 2500 HD with the Duramax diesel. I've got it a bit dirty already. Obviously a crew cab. I'm sure you can see that. Short bed, 20-inch wheels, 35-inch tires. Tan leather. I got my thing plugged in for Torque app on my phone so I can monitor everything. Having worked at a performance shop for quite a while in the past, I have a bit of an understanding of some of the ways vehicles work. So anyhow, it's like I said, tan leather. Yeah, pretty basic inside. Got like the aftermarket gauge things up there, which I'm not really sure yet if I'm a fan of that. Back seat, it's got a TV and DVD player up there for the kids. Yeah, looks like somebody at some point had an amp back here. Power ground remote, RCA cables already all there. Like I said, 20-inch wheels, 35-inch tires. Let's see. What else is there? 5-inch exhaust. Straight pipe. You can't really see most of it. Let's see. Maybe if I hold it under here. So 5-inch exhaust. It's got an intake. That's really it. I mean, it's pretty basic. I think that's a different grill. I don't think that's a stock grill. Because I think it should have, maybe this bar continues across and it has a bow tie in it. I don't know. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else I should or could say about it. It's got 120,000 miles. It's an 04.5. The significance of that is the 04s started off with one motor For the Duramaxes anyways, the engine code was LB7 for the first part of the year. And then halfway through the year, they changed the engine. So for the 04.5 through 06, I think, the truck is basically the same, but the engine code is LLY. And the LLY has a bit more power and a bit better fuel economy. I don't know exactly what they changed. Maybe I'll research that one of these days just so I know. But I did do a little bit of research to figure out how to find out whether it was an 04 or an 04.5, because they all just say 04. And found out that you just look at one number in the VIN code, and if it's a 1, then it's a 04, and if it's a 2, it's an 04.5, and mine's a 2. So I have the one with a bit more power and a bit better fuel mileage. So like I said, it already has a 5-inch straight exhaust and intake. Knowing at least a little bit about modifying stuff, performance stuff, the whole idea there, I'd be willing to bet that somebody had a tuner on this truck in the past, but probably took it off and sold it when they got rid of the truck to make some extra money or something like that. So it's, I'm sure, been flashed back to stock tune, which isn't optimal with with an intake and an exhaust flowing so much more air than stock, both in and out. You really need a tune to optimize that. So I'll figure out eventually what I'm going to do as far as a tune with my Mazda Speed 6 that I had. I had an access port, which is what Subaru guys use for the STIs and all that, for tuning their cars, and it's the thing for Mazdas as well, at least the turboed cars. They don't make one for these, but there's a company, or there's a lot of devices for these turbo diesels that do a similar thing. A lot of them are similar to the access port, and you have to reflash your ECU each time. But there's some that you can just change different tunes on the fly. I guess it's like a dial or a knob where you can just turn it to a different tune, and it just changes as you're driving. And you can have custom tunes, where a lot of the flash programs, you just use off-the-shelf tunes, as they're called. And so I'll probably go with what's called EFI Live, which allows you to change tunes on the fly and have custom tunes. So I'll probably buy the hardware for EFI Live, and then go to a reputable tuner and have some custom tunes made specifically for my truck. There's a really reputable guy in Meridian, Idaho, which is like a 7-hour drive from here, but it might be worth it to go there. I don't know, we'll see. That's a ways out. But I want to have this thing optimized for fuel mileage, like the best I could get it for just driving around, and then also have it dialed in for towing. So I know how much of a difference a custom tune can make. So anyhow, I mean, that's the truck. It's just a truck, right? It's nothing special. It's got a 4-inch lift. I didn't mention that, but I think that's about it. I mean, I don't know. There might be more that I don't know about, but yeah. If I think of anything else about it, I guess I'll tell you. But I guess I'll end it for now. So I was just doing a bit of research. Actually, I'm coming outside because we're going to go for a walk, and I don't know how cold it is, so I don't know how much to bundle up, so I figured I'd come sit out here for a minute and see if I'm wearing enough clothes or not. But earlier I was doing some research on the differences between the LB7 engine and the LLY engine, the one just before the one I have and the one I have. The LB7 from the factory was 300 horsepower, 520 foot-pounds of torque. The LLY, which is what mine is 305 horsepower, so 5 more horsepower, and 605 foot-pounds of torque, so 85 more foot-pounds of torque. The biggest difference, the biggest differences, I should say, from what I've read, is they changed the valve cover design so that the fuel injectors are easy to change on this newer version. Apparently on the older one you had to pull the valve covers in order to change fuel injectors. So they've changed the design of the valve covers so you do not have to anymore. This was also their first attempt at like engine, a diesel engine with like the emissions control stuff. And then they used a different Garrett turbo. I don't know if it was the first time they used a Garrett or if they just used some prototype stuff. I don't know all the details of it, but there's something special about the Garrett turbo setup that they had when they first switched to this. So, which is likely what made the big difference in the power. Just changing like the valve cover design to make the injectors easy to change. That's not going to add 85 foot-pounds of torque. So it's probably something to do with the Garrett turbo, which I don't know if all these diesel trucks have ball bearing turbos or not, but this one does. It's pretty neat to I just love listening to the turbo. It was like that with my Speed 6 too, but this one's even better because of the ball bearing turbo. It's like when you turn it off, you turn the engine off, and you can hear the turbo still spinning down, just slowly, much slower than that, like going down. We actually took my daughter last night and dropped her off at a friend's house for a sleepover, and her friend's mom was outside, and we pulled up, and I shut the truck off, and my wife got out and was helping, like, my daughter get all her stuff or something, and her friend's mom was like, that thing sounds like a jet engine when you turn it off. I thought it was funny, but the Speed 6 didn't have a ball bearing turbo. Factory, they don't have ball bearing turbos, and then I put a bigger turbo on it, which also was not a ball bearing turbo. So the spool up super loud, much louder than the Mazda was, and then just the sound of it with the ball bearing stuff spinning around in there is pretty cool. Anyways, I know when I recorded earlier I said I didn't know what the differences were, and there's probably more differences than that. I had just done a little bit of reading on it, so I figured I would share what I found as far as the horsepower and torque numbers, as well as the main differences they talked about, at least in what I was reading, when they changed, and why they changed. There was a lot of issues with, like, some injector problems, causing overheating, which was causing blown head gaskets, and then it was like really difficult to change the injectors, and there was a whole big deal going on around those injectors. So that was, I'm sure, one of the big things that sparked a change, was changing like the design of the around the injectors, not the injectors themselves, although I believe they changed the injectors themselves as well. And then, like I said, the emission stuff, which I think they added an EGR valve to the version I have, which the first one didn't have, and then also, like I said, changed the turbo, and then like something about, I don't remember, some other stuff related to the EGR system and whatnot. So anyhow, that's all. I think I've discovered that I need to put on more clothes for our walk because it's kind of chilly out here. So I'm going to go back in and bundle up a little bit more, and then we're going to go for a walk. So maybe I'll add more later, maybe not.